At Capitan Tiago's house, chaos reigned, reflecting the confusion and sadness in everyone's hearts. Maria Clara, heartbroken and overwhelmed, wept uncontrollably, ignoring her Aunt Isabel and her foster sister Andeng's attempts to comfort her. Her father had forbidden her from speaking to Ibarra, her fiancé, until the church lifted the excommunication that hung over him. The once joyous home now felt heavy with dread. Aunt Isabel, a practical woman, tried to soothe her niece. "Don't cry, Hisha," she said while polishing a mirror. "The priests will withdraw the excommunication. They'll write to the Pope, and we'll make a big offering. Padre Damaso only fainted. He's not dead." Andeng, more mischievous, whispered to Maria Clara, "Don't worry, I'll find a way for you to speak to him. You can meet him during confession. What are confessionals for if not for forgiveness?" She added a wink, but Maria Clara, lost in her grief, could not be consoled. As the tension mounted, Capitan Tiago returned from the convento, his face pale and his steps heavy. The household eagerly searched his expression for any sign of hope, but he was silent, sweating as he wiped his brow and struggled to find the words. "What's happened, Santiago?" Aunt Isabel asked, alarm growing in her voice. Capitan Tiago sighed deeply, his voice trembling as he finally spoke. "All is lost. Padre Damaso has ordered me to break the engagement between Maria and Ibarra, or he'll ruin us. He'll destroy our lives here and in the afterlife." Aunt Isabel gasped. "What are you saying? That's madness!" Maria Clara sobbed louder at her father's words. Tiago, torn between fear and sorrow, continued, "I owe Ibarra's family over 50,000 pesos, but the friars don't care. They asked me, which do you prefer to lose, 50,000 pesos or your soul? If I had only known." Padre Damaso said Maria must marry a relative of his who just arrived from Spain. Maria Clara, horrified, covered her ears. She couldn't bear to hear more. Aunt Isabel, shocked and furious, shouted, "Santiago, have you lost your mind? How can you speak of another suitor now? Do you think Maria can switch sweethearts as easily as she changes her dress?" "I don't want this either, Isabel. But what can I do?" Capitan Tiago cried. "They've threatened me with excommunication again. They say both my soul and my body are in danger. Maria, don't cry. The Captain General will be here soon to visit, and you must not look like this. I wanted tonight to be joyful, but I've lost everything, my daughter and 50,000 pesos." The sound of a marching band, carriage wheels, and galloping horses interrupted the tense conversation. The Captain General had arrived. Maria Clara, unable to face the crowd, fled to her room, seeking solace in solitude. In her chamber, she collapsed in front of a painting of the Virgin Mary. Kneeling, her hands resting on the floor, she wept bitterly. Her dreams of a future with Ibarra, cherished since childhood, were now shattered. It felt like her entire being was breaking apart. Maria Clara had always been a devoted daughter and a pious Christian, but the weight of her father's command to abandon Ibarra felt unbearable. Until now, she hadn't realized the depth of her love for him. It was as if a calm, peaceful river had suddenly turned wild, crashing against rocks and obstacles in its path. Unable to find peace, she wanted to pray, but despair clouded her mind. "Why, God?" she cried in her heart. "Why do you take away a person's love while still giving them life? One can live without air or sunlight, but without love, never." In her sorrow, Maria Clara turned to the Virgin Mary, the embodiment of both motherhood and purity. "Mother, Mother," she whispered, longing for the comfort of a mother's embrace she had never known. Aunt Isabel entered the room, urging her to come out. "Maria, the Captain General wishes to see you. You mustn't disappoint your father." "I can't," Maria Clara whispered. "Tell them I'm ill." "Your father has promised you'll play the piano and sing. You don't want to embarrass him, do you?" Resigned, Maria Clara rose. "Oh, if only I had," she murmured, but the rest of her thought remained unspoken. With heavy steps, she prepared to face the visitors, hiding her sorrow behind a forced composure.